lesson on writing, functional writing, and this is narrative composition. So thank you for joining us, and thanks for subscribing to our channel. We are grateful for your company and your questions. I hope I'll be able to answer most of the questions that you are asking. So this evening, I want us to look at narrative composition. So we'll start with what is composition, then we'll go in details, looking now at the composition in particular, which will be our narrative composition. So the moment you hear the word composition, you're looking at creating something. Okay, it is creating something. And in our case, we are looking at narrative composition. I hope you'll be able to see the lighting. So we are saying composition is the piece of lighting which either tells a story or describes a person, place, events, or deals with a particular subject or matter. That is what is referred to as composition. So it is a writing, it can tell a story, such as in our case, a narrative, a story. Now, when we are looking at composition, to compose in the first place means putting bits and pieces of something together. In other words, you may find it as an essay. That's how you'll find it. Sometimes it's called an essay, functional writing, or a story. Let us now go into the details of our subject tonight, which is narrative composition. And we are saying narrative has to do with storytelling. So you are telling a story. Okay? Telling a story. So it has to do with telling a story. And narrative composition is usually based on past experience, such as describing what happened to one at a particular occasion. So something happened and you are retelling that story. That is narrative. So as such, it is a composition that is written in a reported speech, or rather use the tense in a simple past tense. Okay, because it is told in the past tense. So the tense is usually the simple past. For example, when you're looking at examples, you're looking at words like saw, kicked, went, and some of the continuous past form of words. Okay? So you may be having words like I was walking, she was selling, was gives us the tense marker to say it happened in the past. Okay? Even you can have sentences which describe a completed work. Okay? In the past perfect tense. For example, here we have an example, you're saying his friend had thrown the ball. So the action of throwing the ball had already happened. And you are saying you can also have reported speech in narrative composition. Okay, and one of the most important things that you should remember when you are composition, any form of composition, and narrative composition is not an exception, is the arrangement of events in a chronological order. You're supposed to arrange the events in the narrative composition in a chronological order. First thing should happen, then followed by another event, then followed by another, chronologically, not in a way that the beginning is at the middle, the end is at the beginning. That's not the chronological order we are talking about. Now, what are some of the important hints when you're writing narrative composition? Okay, so some of the hints in narrative composition is that since you are writing about a story which may have occurred, the story can be imaginary or can be a real story. Okay, and one of the most important parts is narrative composition must carry a title. Okay, a title gives the focus of the topic under discussion, so it must have a title. What are you going to write about? And then what about the introduction? The introduction must be a catchy one, that it captures the interest of the person who's reading that composition. It must be a catchy introduction. Let us continue. We are looking at the hints that separates narrative composition from other compositions. So we are saying a narrative writing always uses the past form of the tense. Such verbs as was, had, bought are commonly used because these words are showing what happened. Okay? And another point that we are looking at, a narrative writing must also be good quality of the dialect speech pattern. You must make use of the speech pattern. Okay? Dialect speech is used to repeat or say the exact words of the speaker. The most important, when quoting or writing the words spoken by the speaker, are put into what? Quotation marks, to indicate these are not your words, but are words that are spoken by someone else. And we have some examples here. Speech marks are used to set off words of a speaker. You have an example there. Your speech was interesting. Those are the words that were spoken by someone. The example you're saying, Ben said, will you accompany me to the market? Open, will you accompany me to the market? Question mark and close quotation mark. These are just some of the examples that you may have. Now, in conclusion, we have said a composition is a piece of writing which either tells the story, in our case a narrative composition, or describes a person, like in a descriptive composition. It can describe a place, an event, or to deals with a particular subject matter. Okay? A narrative is in short storytelling. It is based on the past experience, such as describing what happened to one particular occasion in the past. That is what sets a narrative composition from other composition. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the questions that you are asking, and encourage your friends to subscribe to our channel. God bless you.